Wild Hearts is a stunning masterpiece that has been let down by multiple factors that will come between it and finding its place in the monster hunting genre. Welcome to my series Escaping to the World of Video Games, where I review the newest games releases and give you my honest impressions about them. And today we have a doozy one. Today we have Wild Hearts. I do remember when the game was announced, and I remember that I kept my eyes on it for when it releases, and the day has finally come. Some background info before I go through in my video. In general, I'm not a die-hard fan of Monster Hunter. I played almost 200 hours of Monster Hunter World, and I really loved it. I encountered some flaws that made me ditch the game a few years back, but I truly admire it. I have a niche experience with it, but that didn't last long. But oh boy, did Wild Hearts tame my heart and steal it. Talking first about the big elephant in the room, the performance. As you probably heard, the game runs bad. I played this on a 3070 Ti and 5800 X3D along with 32GB of RAM, had my settings on medium on 1440p, and was barely able to maintain 60 FPS. I myself didn't experience a horrific FPS situation. Throughout my gameplay, I had a stable experience, but I can only imagine how it would be on a weaker system. As a reference, I kept my FPS monitor visible on this video so you can have a clear idea of what to expect in your rig. The graphics of the game are beautiful, nothing game-changing or have your mind blown. To be honest, I expected the graphics to be much better than this, but this is what we have. Some areas are extremely well done and really well made, while others look bland and aren't really eye-catchy. The character faces and designs, though, are really great and feels next-gen. The character creation has so much depth and options and sliders that you will have so much fun creating your own unique hunter. Just as a quick disclaimer, I release quality videos about games on a steady basis, reviews, news, and clips. If this interests you, make sure to click the sub button as this helps the video to reach more players like you and me. Moving on to combat, and gracious God, this game has an incredible combat. I already feel like a main character with all the cameras pointing at me. The combat aspect of the game is excellent. While Monster Hunter focused on weapon combos to flesh out a great combat as much as possible, Wild Heart did not. Instead, they introduced the Karakuri, a direct translation to mechanism, which is essential to your fights in the game. You can split the purpose of the Karakuri into two parts, combat and world. In the world part, you can build various machines that can help you in your hunt and exploration. Stuff like hunting towers to find your prey, wind vortex for traversal, and the flying vine to name a few. And for the combat, you can build stuff that will help you take down the monsters. Cubes that you can jump off of and land a devastating attack. Bombs, flares, walls, you can build all those to help you have the most badass moment in gaming history. Thinking in a split of a second which is better option between all your mechanisms in this moment and doing the best one for the biggest amount of damage done with the top-notch music playing in the background will make you shout out of enthusiasm. I know I did. They gave the genre a fresh breath of air and a really cool idea that sets it apart from being a Monster Hunter clone. Jumping off a set of boxes, landing a special attack with your claw, attaching to the monster and landing combos mid-air and finishing your combo with another special attack with a unique camera perspective makes you live the Attack on Titan experience rather than just watching it. In the end, this is what a monster hunting genre is all about. The amazing badass moments you have while you are fighting a monster. The combat system is a chef's kiss, and Omega Force really aced this section. And speaking of combats, in Wild Hearts you have 8 different weapons, with one of them phasing into 5 different shapes. They all feel and play different from each other and have a distinctive playstyle. I played almost all of them except for the bow. While I am by no means a master of all of them, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with each of them, but found my style lies with the katana and later changed to the claw because I love the fluid and fast strikes that it has. Choosing your weapon doesn't count on which is easier since they don't have an exclusive combos like Monster Hunter, and it's all about mashing the hit button. You will instead choose your weapon based on your playstyle and find your mastery in the Karakuri system to make the hunts easier and faster later in the game. Before we move forward, check the description below to know more about my Discord channel, where you can get notified about my videos right away. You can also share clips of your favorite games in the dedicated channel and have them later released in a video on my channel with your name on them. While some people might compare the Karakuri to that of Fortnite, and while the resemblance is uncanny, what sets Wild Heart from Fortnite is that you are building these mechanisms not to avoid damage, no, rather to maximize it. And while all of them maximize damage, some of them do better than others depending on the situation. And to top all that off, you can apply a combo of mechanisms to deal serious injuries to your prey that also apply to the world mechanisms. Every mechanism that you use in the world to help you out will stay there even after you leave the map or advance in the story, which gives the feeling of the map being unique to you with your own mechanisms placed in the areas you see fit. The monsters in the game feel truly marvelous. They are animals who have grown with nature to a monstrous scale and needs to be stopped. They all fight differently and I didn't feel like their moveset is copy-pasted from each other. Their designs is stunning with so much details and complexity. Their damage and fight style are formidable and challenging, but nothing unfair or unjust. With the correct dodges and the right mechanisms and a good preparation before the fight, you can take them down in a proper manner. While some of them are much frenzied than the other, they are still doable and feel just right. Your main goal in the game is to kill monsters, get their parts and materials, enhance your weapons and gear, or make new ones, fight even tougher monsters, get their parts, rinse and repeat. This is the core gameplay loop of the game. At the beginning of this video, I said that this game has a few flaws that will come between it and finding its place in the monster hunting genre. And this is for the following reasons. Firstly, the game had minimal advertisement prior to launch. They announced the game, released some combat videos and some gameplay scenes, and almost that's it. But dude, you are going toe-to-toe against Monster Hunter, which peaks almost 40k players on a daily basis, not counting console players. And it's the game that made the genre, for God's sake. EA's choice of doing so little advertisement is beyond me. The game might be well known later, but it's always the release that convinced the company to give a green light to a sequel or to keep updating it or not. And god damn it, I'd love to keep having updates and for the game to be alive. Second, the game having a mostly negative reviews on Steam is like a killing blow. Now I know that this is not the first game that gets a mostly negative reviews and still be a hit, but releasing a game first of its kind as a series and receiving this much of a bad reviews can seriously make the company ditch the idea of Wild Hearts and not giving it another chance. And finally, going with a price tag of $70 for this kind of genre is a fatal mistake in my opinion, with its direct massive competitor pricing $40. Unless of course you are going to give all the future expansions for free, which I really and highly doubt. Any new player will be in front of two choices. One, either go with decades of experience of monster hunting games, 24 to be exact, with already so much content to chew through, high reviews, low price tag, continuous updates and expansions. Or two, 40-ish hours, mostly negative game, $70 price tag, that the player probably never heard of. I hope to God that this doesn't be the situation in the future, because Omega Force has done an exceptional job at the game, and it's really sad to see it die or not getting a sequel. What do you think of the game? Did you like it? And do you share my opinion on the state of the game and its future, or is it too early to say? Tell me your opinion in the comments below. And also don't forget to sub to the channel and hit the like button. I release quality videos about games on a steady basis, reviews, news and clips. If this interests you, make sure to click the sub button, as this helps the channel and help the video to reach more players like you and me.